I do expect us to be confident, to start well, kind of almost direct parallels from last season, to be fair with you. And what gives me a bit of confidence is it is as good as Real Madrid are, and it's Real Madrid and all those kind of things. They've got injuries. They're probably going to expect us to start like a house on fire, come out the blocks firing. We've got Saka. We need you to make the difference in that regard. The Arsenal the last 2-3 years if we didn't have makeshift midfielders playing up front. But you are right on a serious note. Like Mikel Merino's come into a bit.
He's done a job, hasn't he?
He's done a very good job, and it's probably been his best period at Arsenal. And him being a Spanish player, probably looks forward to playing Real Madrid that much more. And it's a weird one with Real Madrid because it's like for obvious reasons, we aspire to be like them. And I mean this in a respectful way to my team. This is not just another day at the office for Real Madrid. This is our biggest game of the season, and for some of these players, might even be the biggest game in their careers. So it's a psychological test. I want us to enjoy ourselves. Like, if you're a defender, how good are you against the attackers? If you're an attacker and you have a half decent game against this quality Real Madrid side, you must be all right. So just relish it and make sure that we go into the second leg at the Bernabeu with something.
He's fit, he's fresh, but also as well, I think he spoke in his press conference about not just being physically fresh, but mentally fresh. He's played a lot of football for a long period of time since a young kid, and again, not just physically, CJ, but mentally, he'll be in a good place tonight, raring to go, right?
Exactly, and I think one thing that annoys me, especially around Arsenal, is when people say players don't care. You clearly, there's numerous examples of players playing with injury. As you said there's always kind of a silver lining in that. Saka's been forced to kind of sit down and rest for a minute and not be able to play football, and he's been, his hamstring has deserved that. I'm happy he came back. Like, I was actually at the game against Fulham, and I don't know what was the bigger roar, when his name was announced before the game, when he came on at half-time, when he scored.
The substitution was big.
The substitution was big. Like, there's players that will score for Arsenal Football Club and it won't do that. So I'm happy for Bukayo Saka. It kind of filters into Benjamin White and maybe Timber in that how many minutes does he have? Because Mikel Arteta surely can't play him for 90 minutes. I know he got 20-30 against Fulham. He got about 45 plus added on time against Everton. This was clearly the game that they were betting on in terms of his recovery. This was a game that you wouldn't want to miss it if you're Bukayo Saka. Very few players in the system kind of show the trajectory under Mikel Arteta than Saka. Bearing in mind he was a left back once upon a time, and now he's the poster boy. He captains the side. He knows what it means to the fans. He knows what it means to himself, really. As I said, you've got to remember, as good as Saka is, he's 24. This is the biggest game you'll ever play in. And look who you're sharing a pitch with. The Mbappes, the Vinicius, the Rodrigos, etc., etc. So we're going to need Saka. I just wonder how much minutes he has in the legs going into the second leg. And obviously in between that, we've got a trip to Brentford, I think, on the weekend.
I don't think he's starting that game. You imagine you make any changes for that game.
He's
why
playing
not?
forever,
Really well. Why not?
Yeah, he's playing him. He's fit. Yeah. He's playing him. Arteta does not like to rest Saka, rightly so, in my opinion. We need him.
Rest Saka. Do not start Saka on Saturday against Brentford. We are, please. I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I'm saying don't play him against Brentford. Number one, not David Raya. And you fast forward 18 months, I mean, goodness me, he's what? Raya has established himself as one of the best keepers in the world, right?
Exactly, as you said there. It's fortunate that fans don't get to make the decisions, and the manager does really and truly like...
That'd be fun though, wouldn't it, right? If fans could just do everything, right? It'd be hilarious, wouldn't it?
I mean, we probably would have got a lot right, but we would have got a lot wrong. But I'm happy for David Raya, because when he signed for us, I don't think Mikel Arteta and the coaching staff are stupid, but I think they downplayed how much of a fan favourite Ramsdale was. And I really didn't like how with every save or mistake, they would pan to either keeper. And David Raya actually spoke about it around January of last year, how he now feels confident and things of that ilk. And I just think he's a level above Ramsdale. You know what, Ramsdale?
And much more, CJ.
Yeah, and
they're playing a different sport.
I mean, one goalie says that he can't concentrate. The other says, I want to win everything. I know who I want in goal. And I love Darren Ramsdale with the greatest of respect, man. I mean, commiserations for getting relegated, but he said he doesn't care about relegations. He just wants to play, so he's happy as Larry.
Yeah, there we go. And he played every game this season, didn't he? In the when he arrived at Southampton.
What a bonus!
Yeah, there we go. I'm sure at least he was busy, right? At least he didn't have any boring games. Yeah. Just out of interest, Andy, when Arsenal have possession, and we are only 2 minutes into this game, but Arsenal having a decent spell of possession, then Arsenal at 90 seconds, Martin Odegaard there trying to feed a ball through to Bukayo Saka. But out of possession, what are Real Madrid like? Are they a team that want to try and press Arsenal high up the pitch and win the ball back, or they try and sit deep? And it was outside the box. This is good. Sorry?
You don't know until you call it.
Well, I'm fairly certain outside but Bukayo Saka there, really, really quick feet just to skip past Luka Modric. And Luka Modric clips him, and it's a free kick for Arsenal outside the box on the right-hand side. And this is already, CJ, a big moment for Arsenal here. You think Odegaard's going to whip this ball with pace on top of the goalkeeper. And these are sort of the moments you've got to make count. Big chance for Arsenal.
Like you said, we have to make it count. I mean, just on the first 3 minutes, there's been a couple of nervy kind of touches, and you kind of spoke about Martin Odegaard. For obvious reasons, he used to play for Real Madrid, but he's been in line with a lot of criticism from our fans. How good
Fair
would
or
it be?
not?
Yeah, somewhat. You know how it is with football. Sometimes it borders on way too much, but at the end of the day, you are the poster boy, you are the captain. We do need a bit more from you, and he's so wonderful when he's on song. And what better way to prove people wrong than to turn up today? And it just feels like something's in the air. I think he's going to be up for it today.
Well, he's taking this free kick for Arsenal in a real dangerous position, and goodness me,
let me down.
That's so poor. I mean, it was such a he doesn't beat the first man. It's a poor pass from Saka. And Vinny Jr.'s through. He's got Mbappe in the box, but Vinny Jr.'s pass is poor. It's blocked, and it goes into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Timber helped out Saka there big time.
Saved
that was a
him.
really, really good interception by Jurrien Timber. And once Vinicius gets the ball from Saka, you think Arsenal are in proper trouble there. But no panic from Timber. Very, very well played by him. And we were talking about that idea of having a right back who can drop into the centre back position as well. We always talk about fluid front threes, don't we? But actually, there's something to be said for having a fluid back three or back four, isn't there? Which is kind of what Arsenal have got with some of the characteristics of those defenders they've got, even though everyone first choice is not there.
Yeah, just as you say that, I mean, Lewis Skelly, at the moment, if you look at Lewis Skelly now on the ball, he's dropped in between the two centre-backs and is playing sort of in between the right centre-back and the left centre-back. So I'm sure that's not going to be a permanent thing. But you're right, they've got the versatility, haven't they, Andy, to try and sort of move across the back line. Out of possession, what do you think we'll see from Madrid tonight? Will they try and
everyone behind the ball
and just try and sit deep and
everyone
wait to
behind
counter?
We saw it there, and it was funny actually when there was that foul from Modric on Saka, and he was just a little bit too quick for him as he went inside. You know where he's going, but you can't stop him. And Camavinga was backing him up. He was like, no, this is my job. You're not meant to tackle him. He's meant to run into me. That is the thing. So you can see, like, it's almost two banks of five, really, when Arsenal are pressing towards the Real Madrid penalty box. And they're doing that. They're winning the ball very high up at the moment, Arsenal, and really getting into the game.
Yeah, Saka's got the ball here, right-hand side, a ball across goal.
Someone's got to attack
and
that.
That's where you lack a genuine out-and-out number 9. Saka did really well to get the ball into his right foot when on the outside, maybe the ball wasn't hit with a lot of pace across goal. But there is absolutely nobody making a run either at the
Just
front post
shirts.
and in the end Rudiger ends up smashing off Camavinga and it's going to be out for a corner.
They're in a total panic there, Real Madrid.
I mean, apart from that poor pass from Saka where Madrid had that counter-attacking chance, I mean, the first 6 minutes I think Arsenal have settled pretty well and are enjoying the better of the possession anyway.
Well, I think we're seeing straight away, Sam, that neither of these sides are probably keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Which is good news for the neutral.
I think for the neutral there's goals tonight, right?
Yes,
I mean,
for sure.
my pre-match prediction was 2-2, so corner for Arsenal, Bukayo Saka going to whip this in on top of the goalkeeper, and Courtois ends up pushing it over the bar.
This is all part of the script. Why are Real Madrid looking this nervous? You're making me start to dream now, Real Madrid.
This is what they do. Seriously, they'll look nervous for 175 minutes and then score 2 goals late on at the Bernabeu and win. You know, it's just
and to be honest, if you're Real Madrid, as good as they are in that, but just looking at football, you'd expect that. You know, Arsenal have second time being back in this stage. We're going to be happy. This is the biggest game of the season. You're going to come in. You're going to come to our home and let us have possession and do all those things. Is that in? Surely.
Oh no! Saka puts in a really, really good ball, an in-swinging corner, and it looked like from our angle there was a header at the near post, and you thought it was going to go across into the far post, but it ended up being clear. But it was a dangerous corner from Saka. But now Madrid have regained possession in Arsenal's half, and they're going to come back to Camavinga and almost try and assert some sort of control of this game. You almost want to score
before they wake up, if I'm honest, from an Arsenal perspective, man, because as we know, Real Madrid are very hard to kill from a footballing perspective, and if obviously they know they want to take this back to the Bernabeu, and it's a completely different game. I mean, a couple of things I've seen is just Real Madrid moved the ball from defence to attack very quickly. You've seen it a couple of times with Vinicius, and in the first 7 minutes we've got the legs. In the last 7 minutes, I wonder what will happen.
With the way Arsenal started, I think they seem to be, I mean, but by the odd moment on the counter-attack, seem to be in control of the game in terms of possession anyway.
It's to be expected. Like, it's almost like deja vu. To be fair, it's just like Bayern Munich last season. I just expect Real Madrid to kind of set up like that. Great touch from Lewis Skelly there.
Look at how good that. He gets the ball in a tight position. He comes from left back into midfield. One touch is away and they attack.
And that's what's good. That's why, do you know what? When you remove emotions, we're probably more suited to play Real Madrid than need be, and that's a big chance.
Come on!
Save! Someone!
Oh, it's a big chance!
Someone! He said, as good as Valverde is, he's not a natural right back, and Martinelli's probably an annoying winger to play against because he does not give up and he just keeps running.
Every time he gets that ball, he's got to go like that. Get at him. Go on the outside. Go on the inside. See what he's made of defensively.
Exactly. You could ask your boy Trent Alexander-Arnold about Martinelli. Like, he's just going and going and going and going.
Well, maybe next. Do you kind of have full faith with him as a manager that he's obviously a young coach and an experienced coach? It's his first managerial gig. That he's good enough to kind of navigate these big occasions as an inexperienced coach.
Yeah, I think he sets us up perfectly. You see our record domestically with the top 6. The only thing that goes against Mikel Arteta is ironically like our players. And we at Arsenal we talk a lot about small and fine margins. These are the things that make the difference. Me and all 3 of us in this room numerous times have seen across 2 legs where Real Madrid from a tactical point have not been the best team, but you give them chances and they'll take them. And I think I like the way I start. I like the way that we obviously have coped against an Ancelotti side. I think there's a lot of parallels. I think he will set up to individually kind of stifle and contain Real Madrid as much as you can do that. It's just the small bits of individual brilliance where you're relying on a Saka or a Martinelli or a number of the chances we've seen in the last 16 minutes. We've got to take them. It's almost like we approach these big games almost like a boxer trying to win boxing matches on points rather than land a knockout blow. And again, it's going to be a fantastic spectacle for us, but I do think we have to take advantage at the Emirates.
Like Klopp and Slot did at Liverpool.
Yeah, I think
Lewis
so.
Skelly, lovely.
Lewis Skelly's finding real joy at left back. He's moving into midfield and he's played a couple of really, really nice balls in behind the Real Madrid defence. Once again, Arsenal win the ball back now in midfield. They've started the game really well. Odegaard's going to win, or I thought Odegaard was going to win a free kick.
Camavinga's getting away with murder. There's going to be space on the transition. As soon as you win the ball, both teams appear quite open, and you see once again how quickly they attack.
Number 9, that's a chance, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
a
Isak.
clear
You
chance.
can see it taking the ball first touch into his path and he can get shot away.
Get Gyökeres done today.
You're drinking the Arsenal moonshine there.
Newcastle fans are watching this thinking, how on earth is Isak's name coming into the conversation again?
You're a sensible man over here.
Get Gyökeres in tomorrow, man.
Sorry, I do have an obsession with Alexander Isak.
Victor Gyökeres scored last night for Sporting in their game against Braga. 52nd goal of the season. Had another one ruled out. And what I love so much about the coverage of Portuguese football on TV is they show you afterwards, they draw the lines, they measure how much you're offside by. His goal, which was a brilliant goal that got ruled out for offside, it was offside by 3 centimetres. That's a choker, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tough one to take, isn't it, right? That's a good chance for Mbappe. He should have kept himself offside.
Both of these teams have given away the ball in their half a little bit too much so far. They've been quite careless considering the gravity of the game, and you'd expect a little bit more so far. And it looks like we might have an injury for Arsenal here.
That is Timber down, isn't it? So while that injury, another injury, go on. CJ, it's just not happening, is it?
It's just a nightmare. It's a nightmare of a season. I'm quite critical of the club because I feel in the summer and January we had time to, simply bolster the team. Mikel Arteta about 3 times in 2024 said we've only got a squad of 19. Now we'd be here all day if we looked at our 19 players and saw he was injury prone, but it's just come to a head this season.
In a position where he's almost playing right central midfield, and he for an 18-year-old kid, he plays like this is a game that the way he set up the first 25 minutes, plays a couple of really good balls in behind Martinelli, but then he's not afraid to come across, get the ball in midfield. He turns, he's not afraid to run with the ball. His composure for such a young kid is frightening, isn't it?
Like you said there, Sam, he's not afraid, and I think this is the best example. A Champions League quarter-final. As much as we can talk about tactics and injuries and all those things, it's a psychological battle. And when you hear the way Lewis Skelly speaks, let alone plays, he just seems like he's always wanted this. He relishes challenges, and he's in a nice way. It's almost like Elise on the other screen that we can see, and that they're just playing the game of football, really. I mean, the love I've got for Lewis Skelly is crazy. I mean, it just makes me think, what the hell was I doing at 18 years of age? He's playing in a game of this magnitude.
What were you doing at 18 years
Trying
of
to
age?
get my licence.
Trying to get your licence.
Exactly,
there you go.
yeah.
How are you doing all right, mate? Don't put yourself down. Come on, it could be worse. You got your own little YouTube empire, social media empire, bit of a big name in the old Arsenal social media world.
That. I have to spread the propaganda for Lewis Skelly because he follows me on Instagram. So pick him up for that one.
There we go, Andy. That's pretty cool, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man.
So drop that in there, right?
Yeah,
Big rude not to.
I had to, and then it's funny because
To be fair, if Miles was Skelly following me, I mention every time we got the ball, I'd mention.
you have to. Wanyeri as well.
All right, stop. And Andy Braster follows you tonight, right? First time the
that's one
Braster
of the
man follows. There we go.
The European football genius.
There you go. Yeah. Do you want to
turning back the time?
Do you want to promote your social media channels tonight while people are watching us?
Oh, just type in Deluded Gooner on YouTube and you'll see me pop
There we
up,
go.
man.
Thank you. You don't get a fee now tonight because you're able to plug your fee. I've seen some people on Twitter maybe suggesting that it could be the time for him to move on. We know that Zubimendi been linked with the club. Would you be happy if Partey is moved on this summer and a new six comes in? Because I think he's had a decent season.
I think we need to do both, man. I think a new six needs to come in, a more long-term partner for Declan Rice if Declan Rice is to persist in an 8. But I think Partey, where you look at all of our central midfielders, he's almost like the unicorn. He's the most all-rounded of them. I don't know if it's one of those things where you're playing for a new contract or it's the last year of your deal and you're playing out of your skin. That's been my only pet peeve with Partey, and that when you look at the 5 or so years he's been here, he'll play good in games, he'll be good at the vast majority of the time, but there's very rarely times like this season or the first year we fought for the league in 2023-24 where he's consistently at a high level, and you need him in a game like this. And kind of going back to, I know he's making a bit of a joke about Ancelotti, Partey used to play for Atletico Madrid and this team dumped his former teammates out, so it's a bit more of a spark. I would keep him, but I just think it's an opportunity for Arsenal to get the wages off.
If they wanted to keep him, they'd have offered.
They would have done it already, exactly,
wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing I say, CJ, with Arsenal, that I've always felt like with Arsenal that the kind of the 13, 14, you've only had sort of 13, 14 kind of top players to pick from. It's always like when you go up against Man City in the years gone by.
They've got squads.
We know they got 19, 20 players to pick from. So whilst your starting 11's good, it feels like you just need, if you have to make those 5-6 changes, that those players that come in are off the same level. Whereas I don't think that you've had that luxury in the past couple of seasons.
We haven't had that. We're always a couple of ingredients away from a sandwich. If we've got the bread, we don't necessarily have cheese. If we've got the cheese, we don't have the butter. Right, that's what we've been doing. We need depth and we need quality. There we have it. How? How, Courtois? How?
Oh, he's just made 2 great saves, Thibaut Courtois.
Oh my God!
Crossing from the right-hand side.
Is this what playing Madrid's like?
Yeah. Well, as a Liverpool fan, I know all about Thibaut Courtois doing bits in the Champions League game.
God.
Crossing from the right, first a header into the ground that he pushes away, then the shot from the left comes in, and he manages to push it away.
So I think the header's from Marino and the follow-up's from Martinelli, isn't it? Yeah.
And he's not fully fit himself, Courtois, coming into this.
Well, he looked fully fit there, didn't he?
Exactly,
He made maybe the first one, maybe because of his quality.
What a player.
The saves you expect him to make, but he made them look pretty easy in the end. But Arsenal finishing the half off really strongly. 30 seconds to go until 45 minutes up. I can't imagine we'll have too much time added on. Saka whips the ball into the back post. Martinelli gets there.
Was he pushed, ref? Okay, don't know to Yorks.
What's that?
I thought he was pushed in the back there, Martinelli, personally.
I do love a CJ penalty appeal. It was actually Declan Rice who got his header on that cross. And it was a header into the turf that Courtois pushes away into the path of Martinelli. And then the second save, he gets up quickly and manages to push it away. But that is something we've seen a lot of Declan Rice do in the last sort of few months, scoring more goals and making those late runs into the box.
I would love to have a conversation with both Declan Rice and Mikel Arteta, because, Declan Rice was seen as a world-class number 6. He's playing as an 8, and he's always popping up in those positions. And to be fair, when you look at his goals and assists, his output has improved, and we're going to need him today. But yeah, that's something I'm used to, and that's where I look at Arsenal next season, because, you can see why we need a striker. We can talk about other positions, but midfield is a big area. The games are won and lost in this day and age in midfield, and I think we need a lot. It's not just Partey going, it's also Jorginho, and most of the time when you've looked at Declan Rice for his time at Arsenal, he's actually played very good football with Jorginho. He's probably partnered the least, if that makes sense.
DJ, what have you made of Arsenal's first half performance?
Credit where due, boys. I think, mentally you've all prepared well and you've all stood up to be counted. I think we've enjoyed a number of bits of possession. I would like a goal or two, and I think we've all seen Saka's put a number of deliveries in the box. I thought, interestingly, we started, and maybe it's a tactical thing, but we was attacking a lot down the left-hand side, and towards the close of the first half, Odegaard and Saka started to wake up. I hope we don't come to rule these half chances. Apart from Real Madrid on the occasional counter, or as you said, that little 5 to 10 minute spell where they had possession, we've kept them at bay. But as we know, football's a 90-minute game, and it's full fun and games talking about the game in North London. We've got to go to the Bernabeu. If it stays like this, Madrid probably fancy their chances in the second leg, and we might look back at this time and think, oh, what could have been?
First half.
If you offered that to me before the game started, I would have taken it. I think, as you said there, the only thing I would say is ultimately football's decided in both ends. We've had a couple of careless passes on our behalf go unpunished by Real Madrid, and we've done so good down the left-hand side initially and then with Saka, but you've got to finish your dinner. I know it's not as white and black as this, but there's a reality where Arsenal probably scored 2 goals, let alone 3, and we're looking at this very differently. It's on brand with Mikel Arteta. You know, I always say this, Mikel Arteta is that kind of coach that, like, we're playing today on the Tuesday. He's probably been planning for this all week. I just feel when things go against us or go against the script, how do we react? I wonder if Saka's got 90 minutes. I wonder if Marino's going to continuously stay over there. I wonder if a young Lewis Skelly's going to be pulled out. I'm not sure, but so far so good from us.
And the TV pictures, Andy, during half time have done a bit of piece on that right hand threat. I mean, on 3 occasions, Saka beat his man, got to the bar and put in 3 great balls across goal, and just nobody was there to get on the end of it.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to realise that Saka, who a shift is demanded of him tonight, because the problem is when we talked about Saka before the show, like needing a break at some point, not just mentally but physically as well, and he was a player who's desperately in need of a break, is because he's not like normal star players. He does so much off the ball, and you're going to be required to do that even more against Real Madrid, but he has found a way to work them out without being at his most explosive, which makes me think he'll be able to play a little bit more than, you know, before the game you were saying, Sam, you know, do they just do him for 70 minutes or whatever? I think they're going to leave him until he can't give any more. And I think that's the way they have to play it, because, you know, you're expecting him to do his special moves. You're expecting him to get the ball, to cut in, to blaze inside. He doesn't need to. He's got the beating of Alaba on the outside.
He should have an assist.
He doesn't really have to.
3.
Hat-trick.
He doesn't really have to accelerate that hard to get past Alaba, because Alaba doesn't know which way he's going. You think Saka's coming in on the left, and he's taking him outside every single time. And that, to me, shows us not just that Bukayo Saka's back to speed, back to fitness. It just underlines how unbelievably intelligent he is. Arsenal need him, and as long as they've got him on the pitch, they've got a good chance of winning this game.
And you just think you've got to take a lead to the Bernabeu?
Yeah, you have to. You have to take something. We need to take a goal at the very minimum, because you're going into the Lions then. Like, it's going to be a completely different game. And it goes back to what we was talking about at the start of this stream. If I had to be hypercritical about Arsenal, it would be in the knockout stages away from home. Like even just if in Europe recently, full stop. I don't think we was bad against Inter Milan, and there was the penalty, but I think there was stage fright. I think Porto away the same. I think last season, the way we played at the Emirates against Bayern Munich versus how we played at their place. So even if you go all the way back to the Europa League with Sporting Lisbon, these are all under Mikel Arteta. Football is decided by those moments, and yes, on the face of it, anyone that's watched this game could see we've competed, but all the highlights are going to show is, where did you score, did you not? And we need to be on the right side of history. But so far so good, and I must admit, when I'm watching Bukayo Saka in this first half, I just can't help but think we need a striker. And there's rumours on social media that
Who do you want?
I mean, I want Gyökeres.
I
want Gyökeres, and there's rumours
you can't sign him at half time.
Yes.
That is the bad news.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's
some
the
story, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be amazing, man. I actually miss Kai Havertz. I reckon he would have finished one of these chances.
EJ, how you feeling? What an open, eh?
Yes, I've still not processed the fact that Declan Rice is taking free kicks for my club. We're a goal up, but this is where we need to calm down, though, because the game's going to open up now. Like, this is now where the real game begins. And they have got Diaz, who I think I've been saying in the build up to this, Brahim Diaz off the bench. I just have this funny feeling he's going to have something to say.
He is an unlocker of defences.
Exactly.
That's for sure, isn't it? But it's funny. I think the Declan Rice has scored the opening goal. I don't think is a massive surprise, because he's been getting himself into those spots, making those runs into the penalty area that you were talking about before, CJ. And if Zubimendi were to come next season, that would allow that even more, wouldn't it? I think you're looking at Rice getting to double figures within a season, perhaps. But of all the ways that Declan Rice could have scored tonight, I wouldn't have picked that one.
Neither would I.
No.
Neither would I.
Oh, it really is. It's an unbelievable free kick.
But because in the age of the knuckleball over the last 15 years, you don't expect a free kick to go like that at all. You expect it to go over the top and come back down, don't you, from that sort of distance, rather than be bent round. That's almost a dying art, and Rice has absolutely nailed it there.
the more you look at that free kick and watch that free kick, the better the free kick looks. I mean,
Every time.
The swerve, the curl on it is incredible. Madrid have a corner. Bellingham with trying an audacious flick at the near post, but it goes into the hands of David Raya. Arsenal now come forward at a ball played down the left-hand side for Martinelli, but Valverde deals with it well. Goes back to Courtois. Been playing for an hour. Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 0. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, CJ, but what an opportunity now. The Emirates bouncing to really, really try and put the pressure here on Madrid. You know, because I'm not being funny. This, like, when you look at the first hour of this game of football, I mean, this is what, you know, 2 years now in a row in the Champions quarterfinals, right? But for so many, many years, you weren't even it. We know Madrid are perennial Champions League winners. You know, you watching this first hour, Arsenal, I think, have played better football, look more comfortable, look more relaxed, look more dangerous. And I'm honestly thinking now, go and win 2-0.
Go and get another.
Because we know go and Bernabeu is so difficult. Go and make it count. Not take the game away from Madrid, but honestly, you're playing so much better than them.
1-0 still a great result.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad, but Andy, I thought Madrid coming forward there, but the final pass was poor. But I mean, Arsenal all over Madrid in the second half.
As you see Arteta say, tranquillo. We need to just tranquillo. Just tranquillo. Just calm down, boys.
Calma.
Yeah, calma. All of that.
Really, however much we look at it as a televisual spectacle and think, how can they think they're going to get away with this? You know, you're going to get nailed for this in this day and age. The fact is, there's just 22 guys playing the game they've always played since they were kids.
Yeah, that's true.
You lose yourself in the occasion, don't you?
And then things like that probably, rather than get the crowd going, you get yourself going. It probably
gets
calms
everyone
your
going,
nerves
CJ, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not that I think the Emirates need a reason to make some noise this evening, but yeah.
We don't normally make noise, but in games like this,
no. But one thing I would say though, I think you used to always get mocked for having a poor atmosphere and back in the day Highbury Live. I think the last few years of the Emirates has been different, hasn't it? It's changed a lot. I've got mates to season tickets and say atmosphere's been electric.
It has, and that's something that Mikel Arteta. I remember his first interview when he took over the club, and he spoke about the fans and the atmosphere. And I remember at the time, I just thought it's something managers have to say. I mean, obviously you need that, but he really has made a big song and dance about that, and it has helped. It has helped. It's kind of dipped at times this season for obvious reasons, because this has been kind of the poorest kind of league campaign. But the atmosphere has improved. But that comes with performances on the pitch. There's a reason Real Madrid's rocking 9 times out of 10, because they're a good football team that wins stuff.
But it's the feeling as well.
Exactly that
the players are implicated.
Exactly.
And they believe, and the manager believes.
Exactly.
That's so important. The connection between the crowd and the players is, in the last couple of years, better than it's ever been since they've been at the Emirates, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. Bukayo Saka's won a free kick for Arsenal. He carried the ball a long way from the right-hand side infield and was brought down. I tell you what, I know he played the last 2 games, but for a bloke that missed 3 months of football, he looked sharp tonight. You know, sometimes players come back and he takes them all, well, they look rusty, don't they? He looks completely fit. And Arsenal have got a free kick, I'd say 30 yards from goal, quite central. Are they going to shoot here? Or are they going to try and maybe stand this up to the back post? I think Declan Rice can have a go here, isn't he?
I don't think they know.
Rice and I think they do. Rice and Saka are over it. Declan Rice!
Oh
my
yes!
goodness! Declan Rice scores for Arsenal! Declan Rice goes over the wall!
I can't believe
Declan Rice scores for Arsenal!
Sam, you're a part of our coaching staff. How did you know?
Declan, he had that look in his face, like he was going to hit this.
Jude Bellingham, who?
It must have been 30 yards out. It's got to be something special to beat Thibaut Courtois. Declan Rice goes over the wall. Courtois tries to fling himself to his left-hand side. What a moment for Arsenal. And also, CJ, what a moment for Declan Rice as well. What a moment. Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 0.
He's actually been in decent goal-scoring form in the Champions League. I mean, Declan Rice, I mean, you can see Jude Bellingham there. Their little England teammate group chat is going to go off. I mean, Courtois dared him to strike it that side. And it's a great finish by my midfielder.
He literally whips it around the outside of the wall. The swerve, the bend, the curl. That's one of the best free kicks you'll see. It has to go a long way. I mean, Andy, he sets that like way from outside the left-hand side of the post, and it curls all. It's a great free kick.
It's perfect, and the whip on it, the pace and the amount it bends is what gets it in there, because it's on the wall side. It's not on Courtois' side. And I think the fact that it's a little bit further out, and you were discussing, Sam, is he going to have a shot from there, or is he going to try and set something up? That really helped him, because if it's closer in, it doesn't have time to bend back.
It probably was one of those where if it was too much further out, you maybe have question marks about going for goal. But also where it was, you probably couldn't. there probably just wasn't enough room, was there, to try and
Courtois
work
dared
something.
him to do it, and 9 times out of 10, that's not going to go in. Today it is. 105 million well spent.
See,
in the next 5 to 10 minutes, do that, please, Mikel Arteta. And I don't know why, but I think we need to bring on Jorginho as well. I need someone. Yeah, I just think we need a calm, experienced head just to know when to take 1 touch, 2 touch, go back to Raya, when to play it forward. And again, I have to look at Saka. I don't know if you've got 90 minutes.
Yeah, as Andy says, you imagine when he literally physically can't move anymore. That's
when he's on the floor, I'm taking him off.
Yeah. Before he gets injured, though, please. We can't have another Bukayo Saka injury.
No. What save?
Jones!
Please.
Jones!
Moreno! Courtois, fair enough. Quality keeper. This Courtois guy.
It's the third goal! It's the third goal!
Do your celebration.
Marino.
Go to the corner flag, Marino. Go to the corner flag.
Beating Real Madrid by 3 goals
We
to 0.
want 4.
Mikel Marino has just scored a wonderful first-time left foot shot into the bottom corner. 75 minutes gone. Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. CJ, how are you so calm?
Because it hasn't sunk in. I'm not believing
Real
this.
Madrid 3-0.
Exactly, it hasn't sunk in yet. I can't believe this with no striker. Just as I said that, Mikel Marino has played through the middle for us and he's done very well. I said last week that I think he had
There
it is. My Euro 2024 winner. Gyökeres, if your agent is in this stadium, join us. Mbappe, join us. Everyone join us. We're the best team in Europe today. This is crazy. But this is what you have to do. When you smell blood, go for it. Real Madrid in this, however many more minutes, is a wounded animal. Now he's onside. He's onside. He's definitely onside.
Okay. In the build-up, there was a pass to Trossard in the build-up. Your eyes are...
Sorry for nothing to do with Real Madrid, but I feel sorry for Courtois.
You feel sorry for them?
Courtois doesn't deserve to concede 3 goals. I don't care.
I mean, there was literally nothing you could have done about any of the goals, is
exactly.
there? I mean, literally.
And that's the mad thing, because in the build-up to this game, I said, you know what, be defensively solid. If Modric scores from 40 yards, if this one does something in terms of individual brilliance that you can't account for, fair enough. But then we've gone and done it. Wow. This is
believe how relaxed CJ is, Andy. They're beating Real Madrid 3-0. It's like it's just another day in the office for you, this CJ.
Yeah, 3-0
Real Madrid.
Yeah. They're relaxed, so he's relaxed.
You've got to be relaxed.
You're just chilling. You're like, this is just standard. Of course, we were going to beat Real Madrid 3-0 in the Champions League quarter-final first leg.
Honestly, Sam, I don't think it's truly sunk in. It has. I have to give credit to everyone, from Mikel Arteta to the coaching staff to our set-piece coach who was doing his hand signals before Rice's first one. You know, I have to do the propaganda.
I love that. Declan, hit it in the top corner. Well done, Declan.
You saw him doing that and that and that.
I mean, the corner's fine, Andy. I'm not sure we can give him too much credit for Declan. Well, yeah. To be fair,
I'm a fair man.
Well, I mean, I think we should really give the credit to Declan Rice, shouldn't we?
I think the TV directors disagree with you because they were focusing pretty closely on the set piece coach.
Yeah, they didn't leave him alone.
I think maybe corners I'm fine, but I think the free kicks where Declan Rice just bends it over the wall and puts it top bins.
No, but yeah,
I'm not sure we can give the set piece coach too much credit for that, can
maybe
we?
he stood next to him and goes, practice.
Yes.
Practice.
You hit it top corner
for the last 6 months.
Well, I tell you what, if he did, then give him another mural, right? Has he got a statue yet, Yova?
He needs it, and Arteta's on course to get one if we win this competition. Because I tell you what, if we do it,
I tell you what, you can't lose from here, CJ.
You can.
You can't not win the. And isn't that right?
3-0 is a dangerous scoreline.
You can't not win the competition from this position.
You can play fast and loose with this kind of chat when it's not your team, can't you?
Oh, it's so easy for me, isn't it?
You can't expect CJ to
we can cheat to aren't we?
Yeah.
And of course, it could have been Liverpool Arsenal semi-final.
No, it could have been.
Tasty,
to be fair, I don't want to play you lot in the champs. You lot are probably the only team other than Real Madrid that love to come back from the odds.
Yeah.
It's always a bit icky playing teams from your own country in the Champions League, isn't it?
You want PSG, be a bit more of a sexy tie for you.
I'd rather Aston Villa, but that's what us pessimistic Arsenal fans were saying. Like, we didn't see it like this, but
Unai Emery coming back to
we was all saying it's on brand to get past Real Madrid, maybe not in these circumstances, and then mess up against Villa. Oh,
Vinicius has just had a shot, by the way. He's cut inside, it's deflected miles up in the air. Raya judged it really well to stop it from going out for a corner, and then dropped to his knees to eat a bit of time.
His last 3 games, I would say Everton tonight, Fulham, I think they've been the 3 best games in an Arsenal shirt. And obviously he's playing up front. We know that's not his position, but when you've had a testing season like he's had joining our football club, any little bit of confidence you can see with players gets them playing out of their skin.
Yeah.
It's credit to him, man. He deserves it. He really does. Every one of my players, from the young ones that
they've all been excellent.
They've been excellent. We can't typically match Real Madrid for quality. What you can do is match them for mentality and off the ball, and we've wanted it. We've shown we're hungry, and I have to be cliche and say, why can't we do this all the time? Why couldn't we do this in the Prem? What would have been?
Imagine trying to reproduce this performance 40 times in a season.
But can you blame me for asking?
No team in the history of football has managed to do that.
It's so true.
I mean, this
Quite calm as they come. And look, before you say, I'll say it for you, of course, the second leg next week. That's some performance from your team.
Some performance, Sam. There's no words. There's no words. I'm proud of every one of them. I'm proud of the manager. I'm proud of the fans. I'm proud for how we managed the game. You know, we've been. Look at my new sporting director, Berta, as well. This is a new beginning at this football club. Oh man, I don't know where to start. I don't even think it's sunk in. To do this against Real Madrid is amazing. And again, there's a second leg. But this is the first time I found myself dreaming about winning the Champions League, and it's the new look Champions League. They should let a new person win it. You see. Saka back from an injury. Boys, bring it home, man. Bring it home.
Andy, this Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. I mean, is that the best night at the Emirates ever, do you think?
100%. You know, the only thing that probably tops it, not necessarily in terms of scoreline, is a teenage Jack Wilshere, really and truly.
Oh, I remember that,
It's definitely the biggest game of Mikel Arteta's reign. Yes, you could caveat that with he's won a trophy at Wembley, but considering the injuries, considering the talking points, considering everything, to see how we've played.
This Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. I mean, is that the best night at the Emirates ever, do you think?
100%. You know, the only thing that probably tops it, not necessarily in terms of scoreline, is a teenage Jack Wilshere, really and truly.
Oh, I remember that,
It's definitely the biggest game of Mikel Arteta's reign. Yes, you could caveat that with he's won a trophy at Wembley, but considering the injuries, considering the talking points, considering everything, to see how we've played.
I believe how relaxed CJ is, Andy. They're beating Real Madrid 3-0. It's like it's just another day in the office for you, this CJ.
Yeah, 3-0
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They're relaxed, so he's relaxed.
You've got to be
You're
relaxed.
just chilling. You're like, this is just standard. Of course, we were going to beat Real Madrid 3-0 in the Champions League quarter-final first
Honestly,
leg.
Sam, I don't think it's truly sunk in. It has. I have to give credit to everyone, from Mikel Arteta to the coaching staff to our set-piece coach who was doing his hand signals before Rice's first one. You know,
I love that. Declan, hit it in the top corner. Well done, Declan.
You saw him doing that and that and that.
I mean, the corner's fine, Andy. I'm not sure we can give him too much credit for Declan Rice. To be fair.
I'm a fair man.
I mean, I think we should really give the credit to Declan Rice, shouldn't we?
I think the TV directors disagree with you because they were focusing pretty closely on the set-piece coach.
Yeah, they didn't leave him alone.
I think maybe corners I'm fine, but I think the free kicks where Declan Rice just bends it over the wall and puts the top bins.
No, but yeah.
I'm not sure we can give the set-piece coach too much credit for that, can
maybe
we?
he stood next to him and goes, practice.
Yes.
Practice.
You hit it top corner
for the last 6 months.
Well, I tell you what, if he did, then give him another mural, right? Has he got a statue yet, Yova?
He needs it, and Arteta's on course to get one if we win this competition, because I tell you what, if we do it,
I tell you what, you can't lose from here, CJ.
You can.
You can't not win the. And isn't that right?
3-0 is a dangerous scoreline.
You can't not win the competition from this position.
You can play fast and loose with this kind of chat when it's not your team, can't you?
Oh, it's so easy for me, isn't it?
You can't expect CJ to do that.
We should tune into it, aren't we?
Yeah.
And of course, it could have been. It could have been Liverpool Arsenal semi-final.
No, it could have been.
Tasty,
to be fair, I don't want to play you lot in the champs. You lot are probably the only team other than Real Madrid that love to come back from the odds.
Yeah.
It's always a bit icky playing teams from your own country in the Champions League, isn't it?
You want PSG, though, yes, but be a bit more of a sexy.
You know
tie
what?
for you.
I'd rather Aston Villa, but you know that's what us pessimistic Arsenal fans were saying. Like we didn't see it like this, but
Unai Emery coming back to
we was all saying it's on brand to get past Real Madrid. Maybe not in these circumstances, and then mess up against Villa. Oh,
Vinicius has just had a shot, by the way. He's cut inside, it's deflected miles up in the air. Raya judged it really well to stop it from going out for a corner, and then dropped to his knees to eat a bit of time.
His last 3 games, I would say Everton tonight, Fulham. I think they've been the 3 best games in an Arsenal shirt. And obviously he's playing up front. We know that's not his position. But when you've had a testing season like he's had joining our football club, any little bit of confidence you can see with players gets them playing out of their skin.
Yeah.
It's credit to him, man. He deserves it. He really does. Every one of my players, from the young ones, like
they've all been excellent.
They've been excellent. You know, we can't typically match Real Madrid for quality. What you can do is match them for mentality and off the ball, and we've wanted it. We've shown we're hungry, and I have to be cliche and say, why can't we do this all the time? Why couldn't we do this in the Prem? What would have been?
Imagine trying to reproduce this performance 40 times in a season.
But can you blame me for asking?
No team in the history of football has managed to do that.
It's so true.
I mean, this
quite calm as they come. And look, before you say, I'll say it for you. Of course, the second leg next week. That's some performance from your team.
Some performance, Sam. There's no words. There's no words. I'm proud of every one of them. I'm proud of the manager. I'm proud of the fans. I'm proud for how we managed the game. You know, we've been. Look at my new sporting director Berta as well. This is a new beginning at this football club. Oh man, I don't know where to start. I don't even think it's sunk in. To do this against Real Madrid is amazing. And again, there's a second leg. But this is the first time I've found myself dreaming about winning the Champions League, and it's the new look Champions League. They should let a new person win it. You see Saka back from an injury. Boys, bring it home, man. Bring it home. Bring it home.
Andy,